In today's video, we will explore the unique yet inspiring stories of people who have overcome illness, disabilities, and prejudice with remarkable courage. Each individual not only carries a special appearance or circumstance, but also leaves behind profound lessons about love, hope, and the value of life. If you appreciate inspiring journeys like these, please hit like to support the video, subscribe to the channel to follow more meaningful stories, and comment on the person who moved you the most. Reggie Bibbs lives with neurofibromatosis, a condition that can cause tumors to develop along the nerves and change a person's appearance. For many years, he faced fearful looks, questions hidden behind silence, and the feeling of being misunderstood by others. But Reggie did not want his life to be defined by society's avoidance. He chose a very courageous path conversation. Instead of letting people make assumptions, he encouraged them to just ask with kindness. Reggie's message is simple yet powerful. He does not ask others to immediately understand everything. He only wants them to see the person behind the appearance. Through his awareness campaign about neurofibromatosis, Reggie transformed his own life story into a bridge that connects people. The things that once caused him to be avoided became the reason he helped communities better understand compassion. He shows that sometimes a sincere question can be far better than a silent stare filled with judgment. Reggie Bibbs' story is not about difference as something to provoke curiosity, but about dignity. He wants people to remember that behind an unusual face is still a heart capable of love, a person with dreams, pain, and hope. Reggie's courage lies in the fact that he did not hide from the world, even when the world had once hurt him. He stepped forward, smiled, and reminded us that kindness begins with the way we see one another. Akar is one of the names associated with an important milestone in Turkish medicine. As a baby, he suffered severe burns in a house fire, leaving major changes to his face and his life afterward. Over the years, grew up facing challenges that not everyone could fully understand. In 2012, he became the first person in Turkey to receive a full-face transplant in a historic operation at Akdeniz University Hospital. The moment saw his new face in the mirror became an emotional image. It was not only a moment of medical achievement, but also a moment when a person was given the opportunity to live a different life. Before the surgery, faced many difficulties with social integration, finding employment, and dealing with the reactions of people around him. But after that journey, the most memorable thing was not the external transformation, but the hope he regained after many years of waiting. Akar's story should be told with respect for her personal resilience and the advancements in medicine. A face transplant is not just about changing one's appearance, but also a journey of courage, perseverance in treatment, and a desire to live a more normal life. Represents not only a medical achievement, but also the image of a person who never gives up hope. What do you find most moving about Ur's journey? Comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support us. Chandra Bahadur Dangi was a Nepalese man who was recognized by Guinness World Records as the shortest man ever officially measured, with a height of 54.6 centimeters on February 26, 2012 in Kathmandu. Before becoming known around the world, he lived a simple life in a remote village in Nepal, working as a traditional clothing maker and following the modest rhythm of his homeland. Fame came to him quite late when he was already in his 70s, but that is exactly what made Chandra's story even more remarkable. The most beautiful thing about Chandra was not only his height record, but the way he used the world's attention to introduce his country, Nepal. After receiving recognition, he had the opportunity to leave his small village, meet many people, and appear at international events. For someone who had spent most of his life within a very limited environment, that journey was like a door opening late, but carrying great meaning. He became a symbol of humility, perseverance, and pride in his homeland. Chandra Bahadur Dangi passed away in 2015 at the age of 75, but his story continues to leave a deep emotional impact. He should not be remembered through pity or curiosity, but through respect for a person who lived a quiet, simple life and then unexpectedly became a global symbol. Chandra's life reminds us that a person is not measured by height or appearance, but by the impression they leave on others. Sometimes a life that is small in physical form can carry a story that is truly enormous. Dominic Gundrum was born in Wisconsin with two extremely rare craniofacial conditions: Tessier midline facial cleft and encephalocele, a condition in which part of the skull does not fully close during prenatal development. When the abnormalities were discovered through ultrasound, Dominic's family faced enormous fear, as doctors were initially uncertain whether he would survive after birth. But Dominic overcame that fragile beginning, opening the door to a medical journey filled with challenges as well as hope. After birth, Dominic was taken to Boston Children's Hospital for treatment of his complex craniofacial conditions. Doctors performed reconstructive surgery to address the encephalocele, close the skull defect, and bring the facial structures closer to their proper positions. It was a rare and high-risk operation, but it also became a turning point that gave Dominic a greater chance to live and grow. Behind that operating room were the resilience of a baby, the faith of his parents, and the dedication of the medical team. Dominic's story shouldn't be told through shocking images, but with the tenderness for a child who has overcome a very difficult beginning. He is proof that medicine can open doors that seemed closed, but it is family love that keeps people strong during the most uncertain times. Dominic reminds us that every child, no matter how special they are at birth, deserves to be loved and respected. What do you feel from Dominic's story? Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support us. Gavin Silvestri is known for his journey of living with lymphatic malformation, a rare condition involving abnormal development of the lymphatic vessels that can create clusters of fluid-filled sacs and cause swelling in certain areas of the body. In Gavin's case, the condition affected his neck, chin, lips, tongue, cheeks, and the area near his trachea, meaning that his early days of life required extensive medical care. Gavin's family shared that he underwent an exit procedure at birth and spent many months receiving treatment in the hospital. What makes Gavin's story meaningful is not only the medical procedures he went through, but also the way his family chose to share his journey through love rather than fear. Gavin's parents documented his experiences to raise awareness and help other families facing similar conditions feel less alone. Although Gavin's appearance may cause curiosity among strangers, his family hopes people will see a happy, lively boy who has the right to grow up with the same respect as any other child. Gavin's story reminds audiences that differences do not reduce a child's value. Behind every treatment are smiles, family love, and small but meaningful steps of growth. Gavin should not be viewed as merely an unusual medical case, but as a baby who is living, learning, and growing within a loving family. His journey carries a gentle message: when the world chooses to listen and understand, differences can become a bridge to compassion. Sarah Geurts is known as a model and inspirational figure living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition that affects collagen in the body. From a young age, she had to become accustomed to having different-looking skin and facing curious looks from those around her. But instead of allowing that to make her withdraw, Sarah gradually learned to view her body with greater compassion. Her journey did not begin with perfect confidence, but with ordinary days when she learned to love herself. What makes Sarah special is not only her unique appearance, but also the way she has transformed that difference into a beautiful message. She has shared that things considered imperfect can still become meaningful and valuable parts of who someone is. When she entered the modeling industry, Sarah did not try to hide her skin, but allowed it to appear as an authentic part of her story. That calm acceptance has helped many people feel comforted, especially those who have struggled with insecurity about their own appearance. Sarah Gertz reminds viewers that beauty lies not only in familiar standards, but also in the courage to live authentically. Her story doesn't need pity, but respect for a woman who overcame insecurities to find her own light. Sarah shows that confidence doesn't mean being immune to hurt, but rather choosing to move forward. What did you learn from Sarah's journey? Comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support us. Ava Butterly is known by the nickname Scoliosis Warrior, after her journey of living with severe scoliosis since her teenage years. When she was only 12 years old, a teacher noticed that one of her shoulders appeared uneven, leading her family to seek medical evaluation and discover a serious curvature of her spine. She later underwent major treatments, including spinal surgery, and a period of adapting to a changing body. Ava's childhood was not easy, but those years helped shape a unique inner strength within her. What makes Ava's story memorable is not only what she endured, but the way she gradually rebuilt her confidence. There was a time when she felt disconnected from her own body, struggled to find clothes that suited her, and felt different from other girls her age. But as she grew older, Ava began exercising, taking care of her health, and learning to listen to her body instead of rejecting it. For her, the gym is not only a place to build physical strength, but also a place where she learned to believe in herself again. Today, Ava uses her story to encourage people living with scoliosis to seek support and not feel alone. She does not share her journey as a tragedy, but as a gentle reminder that people can still be beautiful, strong, and free, even when their bodies do not follow familiar shapes. Ava reminds us that confidence does not appear overnight. It is built through every time we stand back up, every moment we accept ourselves, and every choice to treat ourselves with kindness. Rudy Garcia Tolson was born with multiple congenital disabilities and underwent 15 surgeries by the time he was only 5 years old. After many medical challenges, Rudy and his family made the decision to have both legs amputated above the knee so that he could move more freely with prosthetic legs. What was remarkable was that Rudy did not choose a life of withdrawal afterward. He entered the world of sports, began swimming, running, and competing in triathlons from a very young age. For Rudy, limitations were not an ending, but the beginning of a new way of living. From a boy who had endured so much pain, Rudy became an outstanding Paralympic athlete, winning gold medals at Athens 2004 and Beijing 2008. In 2009, he also became the first double-above-the-knee amputee to complete a full Ironman triathlon. Those achievements were not only about speed, endurance, or medals. They represented a spirit that refused to let others decide the limits of his life, even when his path was far more challenging than that of many others. Rudy's story is inspiring because he did not turn adversity into a reason to stop. He transformed it into motivation to swim farther, run longer, and live more powerfully. Every step Rudy takes on the racetrack is a reminder that a person's value is not defined by what they lack, but by how they use what they have. Rudy Garcia Tolson shows audiences that sometimes the greatest victory is not found at the finish line, but in the moment we dare to begin, even when the world believes it is impossible. Aaron and Abby Delaney were conjoined twins, joined at the head, one of the rarest and most complex forms of conjoined twins. While still in the womb, medical imaging revealed a unique connection, prompting their parents, Heather and Riley Delaney, to seek specialized care at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. They were born in July 2016, and in June 2017, Aaron and Abby underwent an 11-hour separation surgery involving a team of over 30 medical professionals. After the surgery, Aaron and Abby's journey didn't end immediately. They needed a long time to recover, receive treatment, and learn to develop at their own pace. They received months of support through physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. For the Delaney family, every small step forward was a great joy, a new movement, a new reaction, a peaceful moment together. Behind this miraculous medical story lies the enduring love of their parents and the dedication of many people. Aaron and Abby's story should be viewed with appreciation, not mere curiosity. They are not just a rare surgical case, but two children with their own lives, personalities, and futures. Their journey reminds viewers that miracles don't always appear as in fairy tales, but are created through courage, science, meticulous preparation, and unwavering love. Aaron and Abby are proof that life can always open new chapters even after the most fragile beginnings. Vincent Okech was a boy from Uganda known for living with severe swelling in his legs and hips from a very young age. Reports indicate the problem began when he was about 1.5 years old, making every step a challenge. Vincent's family lacked access to specialized treatment, and local doctors struggled with the complexity of his condition. Although he passed away before major treatment could be performed, Vincent's story serves as a reminder of the importance of compassion and timely care. Ellie Chalice is a British Paralympic swimmer who experienced a life-changing event when she was only 16 months old. She developed bacterial meningitis, became critically ill, and later had all 4 limbs amputated in order to save her life. For many families, simply surviving such a moment would already feel like a miracle. But Ellie grew up not only to survive. She gradually entered the world of sports, learned to control her body in her own way, and turned the swimming pool into a place where she discovered her strength. From a little girl whose family once only hoped she would survive, Ellie became a world champion and a prominent figure in Paralympic sports. She won a silver medal at the Tokyo Paralympics and later achieved gold in the 50-meter backstroke at Paris 2024. These accomplishments were not only the result of talent, but also years of dedication, rehabilitation, and pushing beyond her limits. Every swim Ellie completes is a reminder that a different body can still create extraordinary moments. Ellie Chalice's story is inspiring because she didn't let loss define her entire life. She entered the sport with perseverance, but stayed with it with love and desire to win. The most beautiful thing about Ellie is not just the medal, but the image of a young girl who dares to live brilliantly after difficult years. She reminds us that strength sometimes lies in each day of silent practice, each time we fall down and continue. What impresses you most about Ellie? Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support us. Dean Karnazes is an American ultramarathon runner known for his extraordinary endurance in long-distance races that seem to go beyond human limits. He does not only run traditional marathons, but has also challenged himself through extreme journeys, such as running across Death Valley, completing a marathon in Antarctica, and finishing 50 marathons in 50 states in 50 consecutive days. But behind those impressive numbers is a very human story, a man who found himself again through every long step he took. What makes Dean different is not only his endurance, but also the way he views exhaustion as part of the journey of life. Some of his runs have lasted for dozens of hours, and he once ran 350 miles for more than 80 hours without sleep. To many people, that sounds impossible. But for Dean, every limit becomes a question. Can humans go farther than what they once believed possible? That mindset is what made him one of the most recognized figures in the world of ultramarathons. Dean Karnazes' story is not a call for everyone to push themselves until exhaustion. It is a reminder that each person has their own race in life. For Dean, that race is built from discipline, loneliness, pain, and the simple joy of being able to take one more step forward. He shows audiences that sometimes victory is not found in speed, but in the ability to continue when the mind is already telling us to stop. That is the quiet beauty of perseverance. Bentley Yoder was born with encephalocele, a rare condition in which part of the brain develops outside the skull. While he was still in the womb, his family was told that Bentley's chances of survival were extremely uncertain. Yet when he was born, he cried, he breathed, and in a small but powerful way, Bentley seemed to tell everyone that he still wanted to be in this world. That moment completely changed his parents' hearts, transforming fear into determination to search for hope. Bentley's journey became a major challenge for both his family and the medical team. Doctors at Boston Children's Hospital used 3D models to prepare for the complex surgery, which aimed to return the brain tissue that could be preserved back inside the skull. This was not only a highly technical operation, but also a race against time, as the risks of infection and complications were always present. But Bentley's family chose hope because they believed their son deserved a chance. What makes Bentley's story so moving is not only the miracle of medicine, but also the simple and powerful love of parents for their child. After surgery, Bentley began showing small signs of progress, smiling more often and gradually learning to adapt to life. His story reminds us that a child should not be defined by a medical diagnosis. Bentley is proof that sometimes hope begins with a single breath, a cry, and the determination to never let go. Mila Liaskovsky is a young girl from Airdrie, Alberta, Canada, living with a rare vascular condition called capillary malformation arteriovenous malformation syndrome, commonly known as CMAVM. According to her family, Mila spent her first month of life in the NICU, and it was not until she was around 6 months old that a clearer diagnosis was made. Despite facing many complex health challenges, Mila's mother describes her as a happy child who loves exploring and is very social, like a little social butterfly. Mila's condition affects not only her physical appearance, but also creates challenges related to her vision, hearing, and dental health. Her family has shared that Mila is in stage 3 of the syndrome, while common treatment options, such as surgery or embolization, were considered too risky. This led her parents to search for additional possibilities, including treatment abroad. Behind each decision is a family's fear and uncertainty, but also a love that refuses to stop in the face of difficult obstacles. Mila's story should be told as the journey of a child growing up surrounded by the protection and love of her family. She is not just a rare medical case, but a little girl with a smile, a personality and childhood moments that deserve to be cherished. The efforts of Mila's parents also remind viewers that behind every medical battle are countless sleepless nights, endless hope, and immeasurable love. Mila represents vulnerability, but also the remarkable resilience of childhood. Kia Gott was a young girl from Bradford, England, who suffered from meningitis C at a very early age. The illness progressed so severely that Kia had to undergo amputations of both her arms and legs, as well as many rounds of hospital treatment in the years that followed. News reports stated that doctors considered her one of the most severe cases of meningitis C they had ever encountered. But amid all the heartbreak, Kia was remembered as a child who smiled, responded, and showed far more strength than anyone initially expected. Kia's family went through months of living hour by hour, day by day, waiting for positive signs from the hospital. When Kia's father heard that his daughter might finally be able to return home after a long period of treatment, he described the feeling as seeing a small light after months filled only with bad news. Kia's parents also spoke out to raise awareness about protecting young children from meningitis C. Their story was not only the pain of one family, but also a reminder of the importance of awareness and timely medical care. Kia Gott passed away in 2025 at just 8 years old, leaving deep sadness among those who had followed her journey. But Kia's story should not end with sorrow alone. She proved that even a small child can leave a powerful mark through courage, through a smile, and through the love she received from her family. Kia deserves to be remembered with tenderness, not pity, as a little soul who fought with all her strength during a short but deeply meaningful life. At only 10 months old, Memunatu, an infant from Sierra Leone, was forced into a life-threatening battle. Her family first noticed a small lump on her neck when she was 5 months old, but because specialized medical treatment was difficult to access, the mass grew at an alarming rate. Within a few months, it had expanded to the size of her face, hiding her features and creating severe complications. The enormous tumor compressed her airway, making it increasingly difficult for her to breathe, swallow, feed, and even make sounds. Just as her family began to fear that no safe treatment was possible, hope arrived with the Global Mercy Hospital ship operated by Mercy Ships. A skilled team of international surgeons accepted the challenging case and performed a complex operation that lasted for several hours, successfully removing the massive tumor. The life-changing procedure gave Memunatu a second chance. In the weeks that followed, her recovery progressed remarkably. Her neck healed well, and her joyful smile and sparkling eyes returned, becoming a powerful symbol of how expert medical care and human compassion can transform a child's life. Kang Kang, whose real name is Zhao Huikang, is a Chinese boy known for being born with a rare congenital condition called a transverse facial cleft. This condition caused a unique separation in his facial structure, giving him an appearance that was very different from other children. But the most important thing about Kang Kang's story is not how unusual his condition may seem to others, but how he entered life on a journey that required immense love, care, and patience from his family. During Kang Kang's early years, his mother faced many worries while watching her son grow up with a complex facial condition. Doctors later performed medical interventions to help improve the development of his facial bones and support his future quality of life. Behind every treatment was not only medical expertise, but also the hope of a family wishing for their son to be able to eat, speak, grow, and connect with the world in a gentler way. Kang Kang's story should be viewed with compassion, not sensationalism. He is not a strange image for others to discuss, but a child who deserves respect, protection, and love. Kang Kang's journey reminds us that every face carries a story, and the most beautiful thing people can offer one another is not a judgmental gaze, but kindness when facing differences. Stella Young was an Australian journalist, comedian, and disability rights activist. She was born in 1982 in Stawell and lived with osteogenesis imperfecta, a condition that causes fragile bones. But Stella did not want her life to be told as a story of pity or as a simple example of overcoming adversity. She wanted society to see disabled people as complete individuals with personalities, careers, voices, and the right to live ordinary lives, just like anyone else. What made Stella special was her sharp, humorous, and honest voice. She became well known for challenging the idea of turning disabled people into inspiration simply because they exist in bodies that are different. For Stella, the issue was not whether someone used a wheelchair or had a body that differed from the majority, but rather the social barriers, attitudes of pity, and ways the media sometimes took away their equality. Stella Young passed away in 2014 at the age of just 32, but the impact of what she left behind remains powerful. Stella's story does not need to be told through tears, but through respect for a woman who dared to say what many people were uncomfortable hearing. She reminded viewers that true kindness is not pity, but creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to live, work, love, and be heard with their own dignity. Looking back at the stories in today's video, we can see that differences do not reduce a person's value. From babies who had to fight from the very first moments of life, to adults who dared to overcome insecurity and live more strongly, each person carries a unique message. They remind us that true beauty does not lie in external perfection, but in courage, compassion, and the determination to never surrender in the face of hardship. If their stories have made you think or given you more motivation, leave a comment below which person touched you the most and why. Don't forget to like to support the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to continue joining us on more inspiring journeys ahead. Thank you for watching, and we wish you strength, kindness, and the ability to appreciate the differences that make life meaningful.